Joining us now, former House Speaker Paul Ryan. He's the founder of Solomir Capital, vice chairman at Teneo. And we tweet things out that get a lot of views, or X things. I don't know what they're called now, but whatever we do on Twitter, we put it out. And that's got about 4 million views now. That was just
the Jamie quote?
Yeah, and there's something
totally
in there for everyone.
Yeah.
There's something for Trump haters, Trump lovers.
No, Jamie's right about that. I mean, that's... But by the way, all those positions are Republican positions, not just Donald Trump's positions.
True.
The things Jamie just articulated are Republican positions. And so that's the point.
That's the quandary, Paul. There are people that agree with Republican positions, but the flag bearer of the Republican Party right now and the presumptive nominee is Donald Trump, which some people have a lot of trouble with. And it's...
Oh,
you're one of them.
I'm one of them.
I know.
I'm a non-Trump Republican. But... Look, let's wait till New Hampshire. Let's see. I mean, this inevitability narrative
I assume that
got credence.
You could write in your Mrs. Ryan, I guess, is what,
sure.
what you
yeah,
would
I don't
have
think my
to
wife
do.
would appreciate that, but, you know, maybe somebody else.
By the way, AJ, I don't know if you think this is right. It feels like the conventional consensus wisdom here is that he is going to be the president next year. Not just that he's the nominee, but that he's going to be the president. In fact, we had Ben Smith on earlier. He was saying if you believe this is always this like consensus is wrong, Davos consensus is a contrarian indicator. He says this is great for
Then go
Biden.
the other direction. Yeah, exactly. See what Davos is saying and go the other direction. Right. Look, a lot's going to happen between now and November. Nothing's linear in politics these days. There's a zigzag. So who knows is the point. Biden is so weak that even Donald Trump pulls up ahead of him. But look at Nikki Haley's polling. I mean, she beats him by like 12 points in head-to-head polls. So I would prefer a candidate who I think would be a good president and who I know is going to win. And by the way, give us more seats in Congress. That's Nikki Haley. Well, obviously, my preferences aren't bubbling through the Republican Party right now. But let's just wait and see what happens in New Hampshire and see if this inevitability narrative, which has credence now coming out of Iowa, if it sticks past New Hampshire. And if Nikki Haley wins New Hampshire, then I think we got a race on our hands. So I want to wait and see what happens there.
Well, you made a lot of sausage, obviously. You knew how to legislate. You're Speaker of the House. The good news is that we might have the government funded all the way, it's a leap year. It's a leap. So there's an extra day of February. So we're having another day of a funded government. I mean, people are cynical, Paul, about doing this again and again and again, aren't they? Is that going to end?
I did 4 or 5 of these deals. So the appropriations process is broken. And the problem is it takes both parties to fix the appropriations process. And you do not have that. You do not have a bipartisan consensus on how to rewrite the 1974 Budget Act to make appropriations work. So we're stuck with this system we have today. Mike Johnson inherited this problem, and Mike Johnson is in a tough position. He's going to have like a 1-vote margin when Bill Johnson goes to Youngstown State. So Steve's got stem cell transplants. Kevin's gone. He's down to a 1-vote margin. They're going to get the government funded. They're going to get this stuff done. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be late. It's going to get done, though.
Look, I saw a clip of Laura Ingraham pushing the speaker, saying, I just got off the phone with Donald Trump, and he very much does not want you to take this deal when these things come through.
Trump likes chaos. Trump wants chaos. I think Trump thinks chaos helps him, probably. But Mike Johnson is elected Speaker of the House. He's not elected to be a Trump campaigner. He's elected to be Speaker of the House. He knows Mike Johnson's a decent man, a smart man. He's got a good temperament. So I think he's the right guy for the time. But he's dealt a terrible hand.
But it only takes one to challenge him. Is that going to happen?
If you want to be good at these jobs, you got to be willing to lose these jobs. When you become Speaker of the House, you know you're going to do things that not everybody in your team is going to like for the sake of governing and getting things done. Mike Johnson knows this. This stuff's going to get done.
What do they call them? The Crazy Eight? Did the Crazy Eight, do they want to do it again? Or did they, are they giving him more reign to...
Well, they just blew through 8 people, effectively.
That's what I mean.
The 8th guy in line. Right. So what are they going to do? Do it again? I think there's really no stomach for that, other than there may be an entertainer in Congress who thinks they can get their 15 minutes of fame if they, too, do that. That could very well happen. You can't let that run you if you're the Speaker of the House. You can't have that in the back of your mind. You just got to go do your job, get the country moving forward, represent your party and your principles. Look, he's doing Biden a favor connecting the border to Ukraine. I want Ukraine funded. I think Ukraine will be funded. But we also should secure the border. And Biden's not doing it probably because his side and his base doesn't want it. Mike Johnson's helping our president secure the border. By getting him to take a border deal, and he actually solves that problem, he's doing Biden a big favor, and he should take that deal.
How can Biden not want it when you see what's happening to some of the biggest cities?
You can't defend the border. You cannot defend it.
You cannot defend the border policy.
Yes, that's right. Biden, it's indefensible. So I know his politics.
The border is
indefensible,
and the policy is indefensible.
Yeah, the border's the border's defendable.
But we're not defending it right now. Yeah.
We know what I've been down on the border. We know what to do it. You just got to pass laws and do it.
I got a business meets politics question for you with your Teneo hat on.
Yeah.
We call it Teneo or Teneo?
Teneo. Yeah, that's why I'm here, actually.
Right. And you're advising, you advise business leaders on what they can or should say or think about or strategy or whatnot. Jamie Dimon comes on our program and says whatever he thinks. And
Jamie Dimon is unique.
And he has a very remarkable license to do that and an authority to do that, given the success that he's had and the tenure and pedigree and the whole, just the career that he's had. Most CEOs don't feel that they have that freedom.
Because they don't.
Okay, well, that's what I was going to ask you, which is, I imagine there's a lot of CEOs who are coming to you saying, look,
all the time.
There's a whole bunch of issues here, and I'm going to be asked about these things, or I need to go out and say this or that. The election's going to come. And by the way, if we're going to lobby on this issue, that's going to get us to either be behind this person or that person. How do I do it?
So I'm here because I can get 6 months worth of meetings done in 2 days. Teneo has about 200 of the Fortune 500 chairmen and CEOs as clients, helping with financial, operational, reputational matters. And so this question comes up in almost every conversation I have. My basic advice is stick to your knitting, do your business. And if you're trying to get pulled into these woke wars and you comment on this thing and choose you don't want to comment on that thing, that's a choice. Find a cause you care about. Find a cause that you and all of your stakeholders that you premeditated, that you care about, and go focus on that and do that cause. That gets you political capital to sit out these other fights. And sit these fights out, stay on the fairway, and make your widget, sell your service, and don't join politics.